Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bombe. I don't know, trying to. What I ended up doing in between episodes was I reset my puzzle progress and ran uh, the current set of rules over all the puzzles to get a better idea of like, are any of these rules really not necessary? Are they especially loud? And there's a few candidates that are not great. Like, this one is worse than I would have guessed. It's... I mean, it's still like 10 to 1, right? 10% of the time, it clears a cell. This one, I guess, is even worse. But it's a few percent. None of these are just constantly generating garbage that does nothing. And they are useful in solving puzzles, so I'll leave them in. I think it's about time to start tackling column 4 in this world where we're trying not to write too many specialized rules. I don't know. I still think this is, like, there's got to be some better version of this, but maybe there isn't. Anyway, so let's just, I don't know. It would be kind of nice to, like, clean up the ones that we almost have a star in, but by far the greatest profit is in starting to add new rule types, right? Because we just don't have anything that touches this kind of rule yet. And we can write the version of it with variables immediately. So for example, in any x plus 2k region, we can say that there are at least x. I wrote x plus 1 plus 2k, whoops. There are at most x. There are at least, oops. There are at least x. And so that'll fill this in, right? Is this just a base case, really? Or is there something better we can do here? $2K in a region that's 1 or smaller must be empty? I guess you can be more general than that, right? You can say... if we have x plus 2k, and the region size is x plus 1 or smaller, then there are no mines in it. No. Then it's just region of size x. Shoot. Because there's no room for even two mines. There. I mean, I guess a not x is either more than x or less than x, but I don't have an either, really, right? Obviously, of course, I can just say there should be 1 in a region of this size. Well, I can say, of course, I can say not 0 is 1 or more. That I can certainly say, because this is the one case where less is impossible. Now, why has this not done something? It has. It's produced a 1. So I want to trash this 2k rule that I don't need anymore. If I have an x plus 2k that is inside of an x, even if that x extends out further, then I can trash the 2k rule. If it's in one that's exactly that size, right? There we go. I mean, I worry this rule, like, yes, it's fine. It's not going to trigger as often as I might like, because I try to create rules that are, you know, X or more or X or less a lot more often than I create X rules. But okay, this is probably where we make real progress on this level, right? This again, I mean, I don't know. We should be able to trash the 1 or 4 here. But this is a rule we can make real progress. If we have not X in a region that is size exactly X, then really it's a less than X constraint. So I guess I need to go +1 on all of these. We have a not X plus 1 in a region of size X plus 1, then it's really an X or less region. Great. Well, this 1 plus isn't doing anything. I could trash it, but I have a lot of regions that care about... I have a lot of rules that care about 1 plus, way more than this. So certainly all 3 of these could be mines, right? There's no problem with that. Could this be a mine? No, right? Because then there'd be no mine here. No, that would be fine. There'd be no mine here. And then, like, one of these would be a mine. To get exactly one of them would be. So there's not any single square that I can say is definitely a mine, is there? Or is definitely not a mine? This is annoying because I've solved this one in the other, in the unrestricted game mode. And clearly we don't need a rule that features more than 3 regions to solve this. And yet I'm like, what the heck am I supposed to do? Well, okay, I mean, we should be able to put together some, like, there's a region of size X and X plus 3. Like, we can at least hide, I mean, I'm pretty sure we can trash this rule, right? Is it possible that I've hidden or trashed the rule that's important here? It's totally possible. Maybe that's why I'm having trouble. Okay, but this rule can go, right? Could I extend it more? If this reached further, I couldn't. If this reached further, I couldn't. Only if they exactly align. So now I have to look at some rules that are in the trash. This one. Who trashed you? You're important. I said if there's an x plus 2k labeled region that's also I mean, I can just like change this to a 0 and it'll be fine. We won't trash this rule. But shouldn't there be some kind of information that I can... that I can share between these two somehow? If this... no. If this is an x plus 2k region hidden inside of an x region, then we actually can label this itself an x region. And then my other rule for like overlap between x regions will probably do something good. In this case, it'll just mark this as a 1. Yes, that's better. Done. So we've never looked at any 2 or anything with 3 options yet. We can write some very broad things first. If we have x plus up to 2, then certainly it is at least x. And furthermore, it is at most x plus 4. That still doesn't help here. But we can say, let's see, if the region size is at most x plus 3, then it's at most size x plus 2. That still won't solve this, but we're about to write another version where we say if the region size is at most x plus 1, then the region is actually size x. What do you mean impossible? Oh, that's x plus 1 or 2. Oh, dang it. Okay, those rules I just made, throw them in the garbage. This is so fucking small. I understand it's like a lot of sigils to fit in a small space. Actually, can I just like make my window bigger? Is it? It's not going to try to keep the aspect ratio, right, huh? Well, how bad is this? I mean, it's close, right? Am I getting any black bars? Kind of. If I narrow... No. Widen. Okay, that's about right. Hopefully it remembers this window size. That's a little bit easier for me to remember. It looks the same to you, but it's bigger on my screen now. Yeah, so just throw all these away. I used... Well, no, wait. Don't throw them away. Just edit the constraint on them here, right? To be what I thought it was when I was writing it. Like that. There as well. Yes. And then duplicate the rule again. If the region is at most size x plus 1, then it's really a region of size x. Yes, this is what I was trying to write to solve the level that caused me to realize I hadn't written what I thought I had. Okay, and now we can say something about this. If there's a not x in a region that's also x or more, in which direction do I want this to expand? Well, let's write down what I think is true first, which is that really you can label it as an x plus 1 or more here. So can I allow that to grow? No. That? Yes. So that's probably right. Yeah, if the x plus is fully contained within the not x, then the not x must have even more. Sounds good. Okay, we're making decent progress on these now. This is an odd number. Wait a minute. This should just say 1. It does. Didn't I have some rule for like trashing this, or did I throw that rule away because it was dangerous? I don't have any rules yet for trashing x plus 2k's, so I think I wrote one and it was broken, and then I changed it to do something else. If there's an x plus 2k and an x, and now I feel like I should be able to say like x or fewer here somewhere, right? But I'm not sure. Now, if they exactly overlap, then of course you can trash this one. But you can do a little bit better, can you not? If there's an overlap of size 1, or no. If this one extends out to 1 or less, there's still no room for 2 more in there, as long as all x are completely contained within this. So in this case, for example, I guess... trashing this rule is not correct if it extends out. Because we learn something from it. We learned that the whole thing is really size x, right? The union of them. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's new, right? We went from knowing this was x plus 2k to knowing it's size x. That's useful. And if I said, for example, that actually it's 2 or fewer here, that would be wrong. So I think this is useful. That is a useful rule. Why hasn't it triggered? Oh, because this 1 plus 2k doesn't actually extend any further. Right, okay. I mean, in fact, I can just edit this to say exactly 1, right? Because if it extends out further by 0, then these two overlap, and there's already an x there, so that's fine. If I duplicate this and say it extends out by none at all, then I'd like to take a different action, which is to trash this and say it's really just an x region. Good. Now this one overlaps with a 1 or more, which isn't obviously trashable, right? Because this could mean 3. Could be a 3. We have to work with this 1 constraining this 135 thing. I guess... I mean, when there's an exactly 1, that constrains you quite a bit. Or exactly anything. I could do some funny stuff with graders or less thans, I think. Like this 1 comes with an at most 1, right? There it is. And... well, actually, is that... do I want the at most 1 or the at least 1? Maybe I sort of want both? Yeah, I think I do want the exact constraint here. So... no, because there's going to be so... well... there's going to be so many more cases where I have an at most constraint that overlaps rather than, or, you know, an exactly 1 constraint that like overlaps but is not contained. That will, I think, often lead to an at most constraint that is contained, or an at least constraint that is contained. Maybe? I don't know. For now, I'll just write this. If there's exactly x in here, in a region of x plus 2, 0, 2, or 4, then not caring about the size where they actually overlap, the outside area must be smaller. It must be... what exactly? 2 or 4? It's weirdly specific. I guess so. Oh, 0, 2, or 4. Of course. Yeah. So could I say the same thing if this were x plus? I feel like that's probably yes? No. Why not? Oh, because x plus could mean there's 2 in this example, which would put a weird number out here. Okay, so that's fine. I'll just write this. We've already written a rule quite a bit like this. Let's surface this and hide the 1. I just want these guys. If there's an at most X region and a not X region, then the whole thing, well, no. I have to use x plus 1s here because I want to subtract 1 now. Not x plus 1, x plus 1 or fewer. Then really this is an x or fewer region? No. This is an x or fewer region. Sure, I guess the overlap because I made this 0. Now, could I allow this to grow out at all? No, right? Because, like, if the not 1 reached out to here, then this could be like a 2. And there could be 1 here and 1 here. Did I put an important rule in the trash? This does not look solvable. No, it is. This has to be 0. It can't be 3 because it would fill this up too much. So give me the 1 or fewer, please. What exactly is... If there's a... Obviously, I want to say this has to be a 0. And there's a, like, okay. I could just say that, but like, what can I generalize? Oh, by the way, since I changed my window size, it's harder to read how long I've been going to see how long the episode is. Okay, but we could stop here. It would finally be a short episode for a change, but we're in the middle of stuff, as we always are. Like, the size of the region outside here matters. Does the size of the overlap matter? Kind of? Not really, actually. Even if this went on for hours and it was 1 or more and 0 or 3, I'd still only be able to put 1 for the 0 or 3 inside. The rest would have to all go outside. So that overlap size doesn't matter. Neither does how much further this goes. This is going to matter a little. And I wish, like, I don't know. I think being specific to 1 or less is actually maybe correct. But I'm not sure. Can I pick x as 0 here and have this be x plus 1? Probably. So let's say x is 0. And therefore I have an x slash x plus 3 and an x plus 1 or fewer. If there's space outside for 1 or fewer, I don't think 2 or fewer would work, because then I could put a mine here, a mine here, and a mine here, and this would be a 3. But it has to actually be a 0 because there's only space for 1 outside. Then we can say that this is actually an X region. This looks kind of gross. What's happening here? This 4 or more sort of doesn't matter. We could erase it because it's we could hide it anyway, because it is completely redundant with this. But generally speaking, we like these plus regions more. They're easier to work with than the slash regions. I mean, doesn't this just mean greater than 4 and less than 6, strictly? Nothing else? I just haven't written in the less than 6. I guess it would be hidden immediately, right? But... so what made this? Presumably... hang on. Yeah. So x slash plus 1 or 2, I said, oh, it's at least x. But somehow I never wrote the opposite side of that rule, which is that it's also, at most, x plus 2. Great. Where's the 6 or fewer, though? It's in the trash because there's only 5 regions. Perfect. Okay. That's all I wanted. So now, though, I could hide this. I could trash it, even. Problem is, I need somehow to arrange that it gets trashed before the 6 or fewer is trashed, because right now the 6 or fewer isn't around to make inferences based on. Let's just see if I can do that. Let's untrash this for now, just so it's visible. I don't know why. I don't actually need to click on these. But if we have... and we always will have, at some point, let's see, x or more, overlapping with x plus 2 or less, overlapping with an x plus 1 or 2. And they're all exactly overlapping, then I can trash this because these convey the same information. Now, if I refresh regions, somehow, don't know how, but I'm happy about it, this one got trashed before this one. Great. So they did both get junked. That's nice. There sure are a lot of these regions here. This one or fewer looks sort of important. It's the only reason I can't just dump mines everywhere. I mean, there's this one. Any hidden rules that might be interesting? Well, maybe the one or fewer and one or more attached with this. It is, isn't it? If I... This is annoying. This 4 or more is playing the role here, or indeed this 3 or more. Its important job... No, not this. It has to be this one. Its important job is clarifying that there's at least one in these two. But I haven't actually derived that rule. For some reason. I guess because that's the kind of thing that just deriving a rule for no reason went crazy. Went all over the place. Maybe I can try to limit how often that rule triggers by saying, don't bother creating that rule, that region, unless it overlaps with at least 2 X or fewer regions, which also themselves overlap elsewhere. That seems like it would... I mean, first of all, to do what I want to say, like, that requires, I think, more than maybe 4 variables, God. Because I want to take these regions. And, I mean, for example, to be clear, I could just say there's no mine there. That's the least general version of this that I can write. But what I want to do instead is create a 1 or more region here. And then all the other rules that I have should fire. So... maybe I only need 3 variables to do the really general version, and 2 gets me something pretty good. If, let's choose x to be 3. if there's 3 here, and the region is labeled as x plus 1 or more, and you overlap with 2 different regions which are each y or fewer, and those regions, let's see, have themselves a non-zero overlap, then we want to make a new region that's 1 or more, which is here? It's not quite right. Oh, I'm... well... what does this represent? One or more like that? Don't care about those sizes. Yeah. So how much is that spamming things? Not much. It only triggered on that one puzzle. We solved that area. Do I solve this now? I do. Okay. Here? Hey! This rule triggered twice on that. Okay. So, and even, it seems, every time that rule triggered, it did something, which is very exciting. I don't get rules that are that successful very often. Okay. So, can we grind through a bunch of these, you think? We can. And this is, I forget what the deal with this is. Let me just look at these puzzles. How does that differ from this? Oh, it's just more complex. Right, it has the row and column clues. That's the difference. So it's the same clue types. They just can have weirder adjacencies. Okay, great. Well, we added a couple of... well, we added basic handling for the things in column 4. And then invented one new general thing that I rather liked at the end. And it seems to be bearing fruit. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time when this has caught me back up to real life, to everything we've solved.